Daniel J. Patton is a self-taught director and filmmaker. I'm going to look at a few videos on his channel and give my opinion, starting with Daniel J. Patton's Vine compilation.
My name is Jeff.
Does this count as annoying?
My Valentine this year is chocolate delicious.
This is the first video that comes up when you search his name. I wanted to search for some of his short films, but instead I got all the Zoella vlogs that he's made. Let's actually look at some of his short films. I'm only counting the videos on his channel, so downloaded doesn't count, which is something I realised after I watched it. Flatmates is supposed to be a comedy. This needs a few things. It needs music, the dialogue scenes are missing life, and the editing needs to be better. The only bit where the editing is used for comedy is when the main character has to run home because his flatmate called him about something terrible happening. The shots become letterboxed and intense music starts to play, and when it cuts out you see how stupid he looks. Then straight away it goes back into being super dramatic again. That's the best part of the sketch, and it's because of the editing. It actually made me laugh. And in the end, the big emergency is that the roommate was panicking over a 10-hour Twilight marathon, and he smashed the TV because he couldn't find the remote and couldn't stand to watch Twilight. The acting isn't good, they have little chemistry and there's no life in their performance. Let's look at the best comic duo I know, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. These two actors are excellent together, they know how to play off each other very well, and they're both really good actors. But 80% of their performance comes from the script and directing. Daniel and Jack don't work well together, and neither do most of the jokes. It has potential, dare I even say I think it needs a laugh track. The IT crowd uses it well in some scenes, and so did the first 8 seasons of Red Dwarf. A laugh track basically tells the audience's brains that, oh, this is a funny joke, and I need to laugh too. The only way to make an audience laugh without a laugh track is to be very funny, and this isn't very funny. Now this is only a pilot, so Daniel can choose to do a full series if he wants. I think he should do a whole series or even a second episode, just to improve on the first a lot more, but it does need improvement. I didn't like this film, but it was competent. The story is what I didn't like. It's too pretentious. Or maybe I'm just too stupid to understand it. It starts with a girl called Alex being made to stay in a house by a guy named Bertie as part of an experiment. We then cut to Luke Newman. Don't get excited, he's only in it for like 5 seconds. We are shown the title card, then Megan shows up. She leaves after 10 seconds of screen time, and Bertie comes back and says Megan's character has been excluded from the experiment and that Alex can't leave because it's for her own good. This is intercut of bits of Luke on a bridge. Then Bertie says something about jumping to Alex, and then Alex and Luke's character say the same thing about just wanting to be themselves. So here's what I think the twist is. I think it's a metaphor for the inside of the main character's mind, and that he's a woman trapped in a man's body and not being accepted because of it, and the message is be who you want to be. At least that's what I think it is. It's quite admirable, but it doesn't help that nothing makes sense until the end of the film. Another thing I'm going to be nitpicky about is that there are so many pretentious shots with shadows and people walking in and out of focus. It's nice to have these shots that are quite nice, but mix them up. It's trying to be like Mr. Robot. The message of the video is good, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I like pretentious, but seeing the character of Alex confront the parents about coming out would have been a much better story, instead of a confusing metaphor about an experiment in a house. The noir version makes no difference whatsoever, it's just in black and white. This is about people being able to upload their minds into a computer. It starts with the main character Thomas talking to his dad. There is then a 3-minute scene of exposition disguised as a government debate. Thomas then meets with his friend Aaron. They sell illegal upload devices, which are the things that allow people to upload their minds into a computer. And they're complete idiots because they decide to sell the illegal devices right next to the government base and right next to the CCTV cameras. Some guy comes and mugs them and steals the uploader. There's then a scene where an employee of the government base who's friends with Daniel's character, and I think he tries to use the uploader on his dying relative or something, and it explodes, which basically tells Daniel that, yeah, these uploaders are very dangerous. A bounty hunter is called to kill Tom and Aaron to stop them from selling the illegal devices. There is then a scene where Tom argues with his dad because his dad doesn't want his son selling illegal stuff. The bounty hunter tracks them down and shoots Aaron. Tom is knocked out by a taser and wakes up in the office of Daniel's character. He is questioned, he escapes and goes back home. In order to escape the police when they arrive at his house, he decides to upload himself. The very last scene is the government deciding that the uploaders are now 100% illegal. This film was okay. The actor that kind of looks like Elliot from Ben Phillips was quite a good actor. He's probably the best in the film. The actor that plays Thomas was quite alright. Daniel was the worst out of the 3. There are many times that he should have reshot a scene because he stutters or delivers his lines like a robot.
Thank you for coming in such short notice.
The cinematography in this film and the overall story comes off as less pretentious. The design of the uploader is clearly just one of those LED touch lights that you can get from B&M. There's nothing wrong with using those, budgets are a thing, and you can't make expensive props, but I think they could have used the LED light in a better way. Overall, I didn't hate it. There are a few shots not in focus, but it was okay. I think he has potential like all filmmakers. In my personal opinion, he's not as good as Robcam Videos, but some of his work is still good. He's better than me by far. He's not perfect, but he's tried. He's a mixed bag. Some may watch his films and be amazed, some may just dislike them. I'm in between. As of now, he's managed a modest amount of 600 subscribers. I don't think that's going to go up or down. I think he has potential to become something great, and he should keep doing what he's doing.